Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Uh, gonna jump right into it today. If you watched my last video, I talked about how trying to come up with the concept of doing side videos to my main series called Planet Head's Garage. And the irony on this is it goes directly into um, something in my real life, and I'll get to that here in a second. And it literally just proved itself a second ago. So, as you can see, I'm playing Eve right now at the high quality level. Um, and I made the last video, which I've actually going to be scheduled to come out tomorrow morning, that talks about Planet Head's Garage, yesterday. And I was going to make a title screen. And my original thought was, oh, hold on, let's get this out of the way. If you're new to the video series, blah, 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 blah. This is just a chronological history of me coming back to the game. If you'd like to watch it from the beginning, you can check out the playlist that is in the description. Please feel free to check that out. It's not an instructional video, it's just you and me just hanging out playing videos, plus this little girl right here, because I just woke her up by talking too much. Okay, that said, last video, let's get this jump going. Talked about wanting to do this side series of learning to fit um, ships called Planet Head's Garage. So that's why this video is named Planet Head's Garage and not Returning to Eve. Um, and we'll get to that here in a second. Well, wait, maybe I should. Nope. Okay. So I was wanting to make my thumbnail for the video. I don't take a whole lot of time on these, but I was wanting to actually create something that had a garage setting or a dock setting or something along those lines. My first thought was, "Ooh, I play a lot of Fallout 4. I should use the Red Rocket um, gas station and put like a venture inside of it." Then I remembered that whenever you dock up at a station that's player controlled, it gets you that really cool docking um, setup. And when I uh, did that and I went ahead and had my ship dock, I was going to go ahead and take a snip. And then I realized that um, when I snipped it, that I had my settings still set at low performance, because I normally have to have it at low performance. This is an older gaming laptop, um, so that I can play while doing videos like I am right now. When it gets into a lot more ships on the screen or trying to do like scanning, things like that, or even docking up, it can be slow. But as you can see here, I've got it at the high settings for this gaming laptop for high quality. And the beauty of, we'll just watch it as it pulls in here. Now it's not, it's just a regular station, not a player station, but it's so much prettier. Unfortunately, it's not really good for me to make videos with this. So normally I go in when I'm doing videos or just playing and I forget to switch it over. I switch out and I hit optimize settings and I switch it down to performance. And I forget how nice this is. So in general, just to, um, hello? Okay, it's applying. And close that. See how that's just such a huge difference. Just such a huge difference in the beauty of what is Eve. And I think I said in the last video, I've started looking at upgrading my computer setup. But my knowledge on computers, which used to be huge, is very minimal now. In trying to navigate the world of buying the right computer for the right time and knowing that you're getting, number one, a good computer, one that does what you need it to do, but one that's also reliable, um, it's been tough. So I've been having to watch some YouTube videos, things like that. And then I almost went online today because I want a prepackaged one. I'm not going to build my own. I don't have the time for that. I know you can save money with that, but I just don't have the time. Um, I was going to buy a prepackaged one after doing some research. Then I was so close today, and then I thought, wait, Black Friday is coming up in about 2 weeks. Maybe I can get an even better deal. Maybe I'll hold off on that. And I'm glad I held off, because I was going to get a laptop. I originally wanted to get a desktop. Then I saw a pretty decent computer that got some pretty good reviews. I was thinking, might as well go with a laptop. That's what I've got right now. And then it dawned on me right before I started making this video. Um, I realized that I could take the specs from a laptop that I like and then carry those specs and those parts over to a desktop and probably get a lower price. So that's my current plan on upgrading my systems here. Probably take about 2 weeks, but and then that'll simplify it. And then I realized that's basically what I'm doing with Eve. I'm building these simple ships, learning about things, and then taking those same specs to get exactly what I want. But actually, it's the opposite. I'm going for a higher price ship instead of a lower ship. But still, you understand what I'm saying. That said, let's get into the first episode of Planet Head's Garage. I'm not 100% sure how these will go. This is my first time doing one, so we're going to do it right now. Long story short, I did a fit the other day, and I pulled from a couple different spots. I talked about it yesterday, um, and a little bit, not a whole lot, but I think you have to have a concept of what you want to try to do first before you make the fit. And especially if you're doing like PVE, what type of PVE do you want to do? And that is not the right window. Do, do, do. Um, where's my fitting window? There it is. I got too many windows here. There we go. So I've got my current, that's not the fitting window, that's the ship tree. I'm talking too much. There's a fitting window. Well, first, let's get into the Vexor that I currently have. I don't think this really matters a whole lot. Let's get this moved over here before I forget. Board the ship. So don't forget you. And then we're going to go into fit. Now, this is the first basic, simple Vexor that I flew. I'm trying to talk slow while it loads, hence why I want to get a new laptop, new computer. Built all the parts myself. Very simple. Not going to go through it. I think I went through it in a prior video. But just basically tried to come up with something that I could build easily, multiple of if I were to die, and to learn from. Then I did some research, and the name of it is First Vexor Fitting. um, then after I did some research, flew the ship around doing some PvE missions. Um, I I started tinkering with what do I want and need, and how do I want to try to do some of these PvE missions, at least for the near future. So the second fit that I'm going to do here is right here, and it integrates a lot more things into it, but does have a few of the same things, and I still have a few options that I could switch out. Um, so some positives of the old fit. Obviously, it was a cruiser. Obviously, it was a Vexor, so it can fly drones, um, and a lot of light drones. It gives you a lot of options there. It's got a decent number of slots for a cruiser. It's got 4 top, 4 mid, 5 bottom. And whenever I originally set up the first one, I went with middle. My skills weren't the best in the world. They're still not the best. Obviously, I'm still an alpha. But to get it fitted out, I went with some hybrid guns at the top. Actually, this is the first fit here. Hybrid guns at the top. I had to go with the smaller ones because of my skills. Um, and then went with a micro warp drive, some omnidirectional, um, there it is, tracking links in the mid slots, a little sensor booster that I found actually, I think, um, but it helps with my targeting, and then some armor repairing, a little bit of armor defense, your damage control. We're going to get that into here in a little bit. And the drone damage amplifiers, just because I am trying to do most of my damage with drones. So there. The other part here is I don't have any rigs because I can't build any rigs as an alpha. So A lot of flaws to this fit, but it does what I need it to do, and it got me up and running when I was about 15 days into playing the game again. I'm able to do level 3 missions right now with these. Now, sometimes those missions go a little bit slower than they should, so I'm trying to increase my knowledge here. So that's why we're going to get to the second fit here, and I'm just going to go through each part of it. Um, and the idea of these videos is that, hold on, so I drink some coffee. I'm going to go high slot, mid slot, low slot, kind of talk about why I put the things in there that I did. But then also, there are a few ones here that I still have a few options on, or that I might want to try out. And then last but not least, you got the rigs thrown here at the end. I am going to, if I want to upgrade, when I've flown something for a while, I don't mind buying rigs right now if they work really well for the ship. I'm not going to spend a whole lot on rigs for that. Um, Also, this is all Tech 1 stuff. I'm not starting from the base amount. All Tech 1 equipment that I can build, other than the rigs, obviously. Um, and that's that. So, um, in general, flying the previous Vexor that I was flying, I was randomly flying some drones around, whether they be medium or small, mostly small until I got to the medium a little bit more. Um, and the I had a little bit of an issue with the range. I got up to 35 kilometers with the drones, but it would take me a while to be able to um, send those guys out, and I would get within the range of some of the guys who I was shooting at, some of the NPCs. Um, and then the Vexor, the basic Vexor is not the best at tanking. So I would then have to turn around and keep range on them, which would limit my guns that were in the high slots, because they were just small guns. And depending on what ammo I had, I couldn't shoot 35 kilometers out. So I was really just doing my damage with my drones. That said, high slots, um, I now have switched it up, and the ship that I'm working on building, it's going to have three 200 millimeter regular rail guns, which get a range of 32 kilometers or 21 kilometers, optimal range. Obviously, these will go up or down as I'm able to kill a few things and maybe steal a few salvaged parts. Um, Also, the ammo that I put into them, depending on what ammo I have, could increase that range or decrease that range, but it will actually give me more of an option to snipe at different ships. That being said, I'm not going to go with medium drones. I'm going to go with four. This ship can hold 100. It can hold up to 25 light drones. Um, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to have at least 20 light drones in there, 5 of each type, so I can do any type of damage type that goes along with it. If the guys I'm fighting against are susceptible to thermal, I'm going to use my hobgoblins. If they're susceptible to EM, I'm going to use my acolytes. So I'll always have the ability to switch those drones in or out. And then if I ever do go, I may have 5 backups in there. Just random ones. But when I do go um, Omega, I doubt I'll still be flying the ship, but I could also fill in those last 5 with the salvage drones. Can't fly salvage drones as of Alpha. If I ever do go, and if I'm still flying the ship, I might do that. You might ask, why am I going for the light drones versus the medium drones? Um, Mostly because my guns are going to be medium size, so they're going to be doing decent amount of damage that way. But also, the light drones are faster, so they take a little bit less damage because of the transversal, but they'll also be able to get in to my targets faster and then also get back docked up faster than waiting on a medium drone. It's not a huge amount of difference, but it is a difference. And when you're really trying to do these PvE missions, that could be very, very helpful, especially if they start targeting your drones. Because if they start targeting your drones, then you want to get them, you want to be able to switch them out as quickly as possible. So that said, I just had an epiphany. I could actually do 6 of each type. I use the word epiphany a lot in these last videos. Um, I could do 6 of each type of drone, and that would allow me, if I were to recall one, send out a fully charged up one with full shields and things like that, and always have a replacement. And that would be 24 drones possible out of the 25 for that the ship can hold. That's actually cool. Even though I can only fly 5, I'll have one for a backup for each one. That's it. So that's where I'm going at with the high slots. The third spot up here, I'm going to not use um, as a um, turret hardpoint. I'm actually going to throw in a drone link augmenter. What does that do? It increases the control range of my drones by 20 kilometers. So my control range is going to go from 35 with my skills right now. I still can upgrade those skills, but 35 to 55, which is a big bonus. It's about 66%, 50%. I don't know. It's a percentage brain data function right now. It's a big difference that I can send these drones out and get them back. So that's where I'm going there. When dealing damage, top area, boom. If you guys have any other ideas, please feel free to fire them off at me in the comment section. What I will do once I've done this video is over the next week or two, as I'm collecting information about what I'm building, also the comments, I'll do a second video after I've flown it for a while, tested a few things out, things that I've learned from it, how I've changed it up since this video, that sort of thing. And anything you guys can do, any ideas there. Not looking for different types of fits. I'm looking to augment the idea of this fit. Okay. An example of that would be, and I brought this up a couple of times, about 10 episodes ago, I saw a fit of a Vexor that didn't have any guns up top. And one of you guys actually commented, and I was wondering why they would have that. And one of you guys said, oh, they probably didn't have the guns in the high slots because they wanted to only do their damage with the drones, and they threw on an oversized afterburner, which allowed it to increase its speed tanking. I'm not looking to do a different type of fit. Like, that's a completely different type of fit of this. I'm just looking at, okay, what would be better? Like, maybe a better fit to this would be, instead of using the hybrid guns, to use projectile guns. Um, because the projectile guns allow you to do different types of damage versus the hybrid guns. I'm not sure, but this is the fit that I'm going with for right now. That said, very simply, 10 MN afterburner rather than the micro warp drive. I'm going with the afterburner on this one. Why? Because it doesn't increase my signature radius, so it makes it harder for somebody to hit me. Number two, I don't have to close that range as quickly because of my drones firing farther and my guns firing farther and my drones being able to attack from a farther distance away. So switching down to an afterburner on this one instead of the micro warp drive from the last one. Other mid-slot things here, and this will actually go into an area that I'd like your thoughts on in regards to my lower slots. Reason being, one issue I ran into with my last um, fit was every once in a while my cap would run out, and I'd have to manage that a lot. With this fit, I'm also using bigger guns, so I'm going to be even using a little bit more capacitor. So my thought was to throw on a medium cap battery to increase the size of my battery, which also increases the recharge rate, but then throw on 2 actual cap rechargers onto here to help that battery keep recharging, so I don't run out of cap. Now, there is a deplete caps mount here if I'm running everything, but Let's just take a look at the first Vexor here. I didn't even think about this. So we're going to click on that. Yeah, the current Vexor I'm flying, the capacitor depletes in 30 seconds. The new Fit here um, depletes in 2 minutes and 53 seconds. So here's the options in the midsize. I took out the omnidirectional links that help the drones and threw this in to maximize my battery so I don't run out. Do I take out one of these cap rechargers and throw in an omnidirectional link? Do I still go with the omnidirectional links and just go with the new cap battery? But this is the one I'm going for right now. What are your thoughts? What do you think would be best? Um, so that's what I'm doing with the mid slot for this one to try it out, and then probably find some sort of in between on that, unless you guys have some thoughts of that, what would be better there. That said, down below, armor tanked. Now, the first two are pretty simple here. I've thrown on the drone damage amplifiers. Obviously, those can be upgraded. I think it's the AEK blah 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 Tech 1, but it's a meta that's higher. So that's pretty simple. That'll get me more damage with my light drones. Then I've got my obvious, if I'm armor tanked, I'm going with an armor repair. This is where it comes into an important side of the cap battery constantly going. So I think I'm going to be in a lot better shape with that. Old ship, I had a drone, damage control 1. Again, uh, I use this all the time. I think everybody uses it all the time, but this is one of those options that I could switch out. Is there something else out there instead of using this um, that I could just focus more on my damage protection for armor? Or is it worthwhile for me to have this on here? Give an example. Obviously, it gives you a bonus to your shields, your armor, and your hull. Most importantly to me is that hull damage resistance, because it is the largest one. The shield damage is negligible since I'm not shield tanking. Maybe it gives me a second more while people are shooting at me. The armor damage is across the board, so I don't really have to worry about how much is being tanked. But that hull damage bonus that's here is really nice, because once they get into your hull damage, you've got maybe a couple more seconds to be able to get out of dodge before you get blown up. So if that saves me one time, that's good. Now, is it worthwhile for me to switch this out with just a blatant armor protection? I don't know. Give me your thoughts. What do you think? That sort of thing. I'm going to stick with this right now because it's simple. Um, Last but not least is a piece of equipment that I completely forgot about. I love this piece of equipment just because it's kind of fun. You have to, I think you have to find the blueprint copies of it out there doing certain um, exploratory missions or maybe just killing things. I remember I used to get some decent number of these copies out in like nullsec, that sort of thing. But they are copies. I don't think you can buy a blueprint original of these, but it's one of my favorite pieces of equipment if you are armor tanking, and it's the reactive armor hardener. And if you look at it, it gives you a 15% bonus to your armor um, across the board. But we'll click on it here. Can I show info? So the description of it, I'm just going to read it here. I love this sucker. Reactive hardener possesses an advanced nano membrane that reacts to armor layer damage by shifting between resistances over time. This makes it able to align its defenses against whichever incoming damage is coming. So in other words, if somebody is firing full kinetic damage at you and nothing else, all of your resistances will slowly switch over for your armor to be a 60% damage protection on your armor. Only one of these modules can be fit on a ship, but I think this could be really, really helpful to me. I like it. I haven't used this in a long time. If there's a better thing out there for me to use, please let me know. But I really like this one. I've always liked that thing. I thought it was just kind of neat. And it's kind of neat to watch it when you're flying the ship and you're checking your resistances, because you'll actually see your resistances change as you're being hit with by stuff. But in general, it'll give you that 15% anyway. So that's a big bonus. So I threw that on here because of the armor tank. I think it's going to really help me out. Um, the one that I probably might switch out is that damage control, but like I said before, I liked it. Um, Last but not least, we're going to take a quick gander at the rigs. I threw in 3 different rigs here that I thought might be helpful. I'm really open to your thoughts on this. I kind of threw these 3 in only because I wanted to try all 3 out. Okay. Um, so the first one is just a medium capacity control circuit. It's designed to increase the ship's capacitor recharge rate. So in other words, it'll keep me recharging my batteries along with the cap rechargers that are in my mid slots. Not going to get into the whole basics of that, but is that overkill? Do I really need this and then those other 2 to keep my battery going? I don't know. Is this the reason why I could throw in an omnidirectional blah blah blah? Yeah, so that's an option. Or another thing, and switch, remove one of those out. I've got some room in my cap and my power grid right now, so I've got some options. Second one is the nano pump. This is for my armor. Ship modification is designed to increase ship's armor repair um, amount at the expense of increased power grid need for them. So it'll just help my armor repair things faster. So that's cool. Thirdly, we've got the overclocking unit. I didn't know about this for the longest time when I first started playing. Um, the ship modification is designed to increase the ship's CPU. Boom. The negative here is your shield recharge rate bonus. It's a -5. Am I tanking with a shield? No. So do I care about this negative on this? No. So it's just a positive there. It's just going to help my CPU, give me more options, that sort of thing. So obviously these rigs here I could switch in and or out. Well, they'll be destroyed being rigs, but I could do different options with these. I just threw these 3 in to begin with. Obviously, I could throw in some rigs for drones, possibly, maybe some better armor stuff to tank it better, maybe even something to keep this cap even better than what it is. I don't think I really need that anymore. So there's a lot of options there. That said, that's the fit, and this has been the first episode of Planet Head's Garage. Looking forward to do some more. Like I said before, this is going to be an ongoing thing. Whenever I come up with something new, I'll have it on the side to my returning to E videos. I've still really liked doing these return to E videos, but I've wondered, how do I fit this in? You know, and then I'll probably create this one's own little playlist that goes along with it, so we kind of see the history. This is not about an instructional on how to fit. It's more so me just talking about it and getting some feedback from you guys. Then maybe the second video I do about this ship will be how to fit, because I'll have tried the ship out, I'll have gotten your comments, I'll have updated the ship, and then I'll put a second video out saying the better parts of it, and that would be the better fits for it. And then I'll move on to the next type of ship. So a lot of fun, a lot of goodness. Alrighty, that's all I really got. I'm really surprised at how long this video went, but I talk a lot. So other than that, you guys, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however like you want. I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.